Hello, I'm Rachel, and in this video, I'm going to talk about communication skills and emotional responses to people's spiritual experiences. This is something that I've been deep diving on at the moment and feel very much guided to talk about. So, let's just say you know what it's like. I'm going to assume that if you're even watching this video at all, you will be emotionally astute, probably have some really good communication skills, and you will have come into contact in your life with like active communication skills. So listening properly, what it takes to make eye contact with somebody, to pause in the right places, to moderate your voice, to listen carefully to what's being shared on every level, and then to feel it, to hear what's being not said as well as hearing what is being said. And then when you deliver a response, for that to demonstrate that the other person has been heard and they're receiving a response that matches the share. And I think that a lot of people are really good at that. I know a lot of people who are capable of that. And when I used to do leadership training in the workplace, we would often be focusing on communication skills because really it's at the heart of absolutely everything, isn't it? So if somebody's recently been promoted to manager or senior manager, there's a lot to think about because you're suddenly managing people on a whole different level to where you were before. So the nature of what you might be listening to or handling changes. So I was that annoying person who would turn up and go, right, we're going to do role play. And you get bank managers going, no thanks. So, back to the point. Let's assume that most people know how to give an emotionally appropriate response to a general share, like, I don't know, like a death or an illness or the relationship breakup, something that might be really emotional. You would realise that that is going to be very impactful on that person. But when we take that to the spiritual sphere, my experience has been that space holding and emotionally appropriate responses to another person's spiritual storytelling, that can be wildly different and routinely horrific, gaslighting, nonsense. It's very common that if you are trying to get yourself heard about a deeply enlightening or moving or uncomfortable or confusing spiritual experience, because let's face it, deeply spiritual experiences have a profound effect on our lives. They change us profoundly. And if you're trying to get that met by another person, but the person who's listening, it triggers their fear response. They suddenly go into a headspin of, oh my God, what would I do in this situation? Because so many people answer from a place of what would I do? But if what you're saying is way outside of the ballpark of something that another person has, like another person's frame of reference, then they have nothing to fall back on. It's almost like that level of active empathic listening goes out of the window. And I mean, it's almost funny, although it's been dreadful, but I'm at a point now where I can say it in a funny way. Quite often people will respond in a in a place of disbelief, like questioning whether it really happened. Now that is just coming from a place of disbelief, and you can't go any further. It's actually very damaging and wrecking to that communication relationship that you're trying to be in. And that rebound, the energetic rebound of somebody being in a place of disbelief, sends the person who's trying to transmit and trying to get themselves heard, it sends them into suppression. I don't matter, I might as well talk to the wall, I'm too weird for this world. Whatever format it comes in, that kind of self-sabotaging talk takes over. Lack of belonging, rejection, that ridicule, mockery. In fact, quite a lot of people on the receiving end would even go so far as to go, oh, well, if that happened, how did it happen? Well, I don't know. I didn't turn into a quantum physicist. I'm just trying to report my experience of life. And in my experience, space holding for emotionally compelling storytelling, which is our human right. We want to tell stories and get ourselves met and seen and heard and witnessed with safe accompaniment. It's actually a basic right. We want to just tell stories, and as humans we are hardwired to do this life together. We want other people to say, wow, that's amazing, or oh, did that happen? Wow, that must have felt scary. Well, yeah. You know, it's like a basic response. And if you're met by somebody who constantly goes, doubtful, how did that happen? And you're like, we can't go any further here. And if that's the main experience that you've had in life, that can be very painful and travel on for years. And then you've got the traumas of all of the decision making that you made during the times that you were saying, I don't matter, I might as well talk to the wall, no one's ever going to hear me. All the shit decisions that you made in your life during those times, you've got to unravel those, unpick those, send all of those on a different trajectory, as well as look out for safe people who can actually listen in active ways, listen in empathic ways, and not only that, but say, wow, you can do that. That's amazing. Tell me more. Okay? So, this is the deepest premise and ethos behind the Sacred Temple monthly membership that begins on this Sunday, the 13th of October. And this is my whole reason for being. This is my reason for doing this membership. Because I'm not okay with our biggest light workers, change makers, healers, energy workers, revolutionaries being silenced and suppressed. So I am determined to create safe spaces that you cannot manufacture. You can't make this stuff up. We are either safe space holders and we are a vibrational match for each other, or we're not. And I am confident enough to say, come into this space if you feel that you are ready to be really seen and heard and witnessed and loved in your big, uncommon, weird stories that have always made you feel like too much, because you're not too much. You're absolutely perfect. So, if this sounds good to you, let me know. Just send me a private message. I will send you the link and let's have a little chat and see whether the Sacred Temple is right for you. Thank you for hearing this.